Hello, Willowbrook. Today we are in my favorite book of the Bible, Mark. We are reading chapter 6. Even though it's a long chapter, it is filled with action, difficult missions, healings, one of the largest visual miracles ever, but also painful rejection and murder and a terrible storm. You know, one of the things that we experience living here in North Alabama is storms. They are a part of our lives. So whenever you see a storm in the Bible, it usually falls into one of two categories. It's either a storm of correction or a storm of perfection. When Jonah was fleeing from the Lord, a storm of correction was sent to correct Jonah's disobedience and to direct him on the right path. Here, as the disciples struggled rowing the boat against the wind and the waves, we see a storm of perfection. God is using a trial to help perfect their faith. The disciples didn't really understand at that point that Jesus was the Son of God. And they weren't the only ones. You'll see it all through this chapter. Jesus was rejected by his family and friends in his own hometown. They didn't really know who he was. John the Baptist, who proclaimed Jesus as the Son of God, was murdered. They really didn't know who he was. And Jesus performs one of his greatest miracles. There's no possible way you could fake the feeding of the 5,000. Every piece of bread and fish that the people ate was personally touched by the hand of God. But even with that, afterwards, it was like his disciples stood there, flat-footed, kind of complaining on what to do with all the leftovers. So Jesus sent a storm of perfection, and because of that storm, according to Matthew's account, the disciples bowed before Jesus and said, "Certainly, you are the Son of God." They finally got it. You know, not all storms in your life are punishment. Some exist as storms of perfection to perfect our faith and to help us understand the comforting fact that Jesus is the Son of God. Have a great day, Willowbrook.